Video from Alpha Anthem. Woman divorces husband of 17 years, which she now regrets. Many such cases.
How are we supposed to balance everything? I am drowning. I wake up in the morning, I pack my kids' lunches, I drive them to school, I have to rush back so I can make it to my first meeting. My boss tells me that I'm not engaged enough on Zoom, so I have to try harder there. I spend all day doing my job where I don't even leave my desk chair. My house is falling apart. I don't even have time to take my dogs outside during the day. And somehow I'm also supposed to be working out, cooking dinner at night, eating right, helping them with homework. I spend my lunch break picking them up from school, and I don't even get 5 minutes to myself during the day.
Now you got this, shawty. You're a strong, independent woman. You can do it all. You can do it all, and you can have it all. You know what is awful about this, though? Women will hear a situation like this, and instead of them saying, you know what, maybe I'll focus less on our career and maybe I'll focus more on the family life, their solution is, I'm just not going to have kids. I'm just not going to go the traditional route of a family. I'll focus on my career. So they prioritize the career over the satisfying, fulfilling family life, which their instincts want them to go towards. But the programming is telling them to go towards the career, and they do that.
And it's not even enough. Like, I'm not doing anything 100%. When is it just enough?
If you are coming out of a long-term relationship or marriage and about to enter the dating world, listen to my story so that maybe you can stop yourself from doing all the stupid things that I did. So when I first met my ex-husband...
Oh, not one of these. God damn it. I've said it before in a past video, but I don't know why. But when these ladies create these videos where they divulge their personal life and do their makeup at the same time, it gives me the ick. I don't want to use that term, but I hear it all the time. And this right here is absolutely making me feel that way. I feel gross watching this.
I was 16, and the way dating worked back then was I liked him, he liked me. So we started dating. We still liked each other.
It's just strange. It's like they're coloring on their face. It's like a sit down story time / color on my face time. I can't even hear what she's saying. I can't watch.
So we got married. Little did I know that in the 2020s, that is not how dating works. And because my marriage had been particularly miserable the last few years, getting out of the relationship felt like getting out of jail. I've never been.
I'm sure there's many people in prison or jail that would much prefer your situation with your ex-husband over them being locked up in a prison cell, deprived of their freedom. And women like her will equate a man saying, hey, don't cheat on me. Hey, don't wear that outside. Hey, cook me something, as slavery and being in a prison cell. My God.
In jail, but I have family members who have, and from what I've seen, it is a time period of excess.
So she's saying, I know that my past marriage was an accurate representation of jail because I know someone who's been in jail. I'm sure they look at you sideways when you compare their time in jail to your time in a marriage.
And like those family members, I wanted the excess. I wanted to kiss all the boys. I wanted all of the validation and the attention. And what that actually meant was that I was nowhere near ready to date. Because when you're in that mindset, you end up attracting and dating the wrong man. But because I was so innocent, I thought that dating in my 40s in 2021 was the same as dating in my teens in 1996. So,
grow up, woman. You're 40 years old, you've entered the dating marketplace, and you want to go out and get the attention and validation from men. You didn't approach it correctly, and even the fact that you're going on TikTok and adopting this trend of doing your makeup and divulging your personal life tells me you are a very immature woman. 40 years old doing this. You're acting like a 20-something-year-old.
So I instantly got into a situationship. I did not know what
Situationship. This is not 40-year-old woman terminology.
a situationship was. I thought that if a man liked me enough to date me and to sleep with me, then he liked me enough to be my boyfriend. It's honestly kind of cute now how stupid I was, but that's not how dating works. There are plenty of men that...
Again, to me, this just comes off as a woman clinging on to her youth. This is a woman who, yes, is very immature. She wants to go back to the days of her being young. She's like still got this sort of idea that she should have slept around more. She's probably heard the feminist nonsense going on, and it's even infecting older women who were already married or are now exiting marriages because they want to entertain this world of feminist promiscuity. And she thinks, that sounds good, let me try that. And she does it, and she adopts this 20-something-year-old mindset and hates it. And didn't quite come to the realization beforehand that, hey, maybe this actually isn't that fulfilling. And maybe these guys really understand the market and are going to use that to their advantage to just sleep with me and not give the commitment that I actually want.
Will take you out on dates, that will tell you you're amazing, that will have mind-blowing sex with you, and then act like you don't.
17 and a half years married, 4 kids. I begged this man, please, Ken.
Oh, I'm awful. I'm so bad. This stuff, I've
never been out of the U.S. Can we please go out of the U.S.? I want to experience something new. Can we travel? Can we do something? No. I get a text from him 5 minutes ago. What does it say? Hey, I need your permission. It's in the planning, but me and Aaron, his fiance, are taking her kids and he wants to take Kylie to Mexico for spring break. And I said, because he needs my permission to do that. And I said, absolutely, it's a great experience for her. Just please watch her, have fun and be safe. But it's really, really hard for me because it's like 17 and a half years, 4 kids, and I begged you to take us or to take me and to do those kinds of trips and to spend that kind of time with us. And it was always no. And now you're giving this woman everything that I begged you for. Everything I begged you for, you are giving to her. People do.
All right, so no, she's the one who added that like sad music in the background. By the way, she's trying to create a narrative, a message. She needs to do some thinking, and I'm not trying to attack her, but perhaps this man feels like this girl deserves it, and he actually wants to do it. To where what she was doing, it kind of sounded like she was nagging him and was kind of on his case, on his tail, like, why aren't you doing this? You should be doing this. Do this for me. Do this for me. And it's probably the fact that he didn't really want to do it for you. It very well may be that simple. It's also very possible that he's now in this situation to where he can do these things for this woman. She's saying they were together for 17 years, and it's very likely that in the beginning he wasn't financially capable of doing that. Hard reality here is that perhaps you jumped ship and didn't stick it out with him to the point to where he was actually able to do this for you, and you perhaps were a bit selfish or you got impatient and you jumped ship, and now he's in the position that he can do things like this, and now he's going to do it for the woman he is now with because that's the woman he's now with. If it were you, if you would have stuck it out with him and to the point where he was financially capable of doing this, perhaps he would have done it for you, but you jumped ship. She left, she didn't stick it out, and now another woman, fortunately or unfortunately, however she wants to look at it, obviously it's unfortunate in her eyes, she now gets that. And obviously she wasn't there for the come up, and now she just gets to enjoy the benefits of this man's financial liberty. This woman didn't stick it out, and now she's kind of seeing what happens when you jump ship too quickly, or when you're really just in it for the trips and the luxury travel and the money.
Do that because they want to feel heard. They want to know that they're validated for feeling the way that they're feeling, that it's not right and it isn't okay. And it confirms my choice to divorce was right. Even though I'm the one that was shamed and I'm the one that lost friends of 15
by the way, she initiated the divorce. No surprises there.
years because they didn't want to be associated with me anymore because I walked away. It's just so hurtful. It's so hurtful when the person that you love and just you see them give somebody else everything that you ask for. Everything you ask for. And they turn around and give it to somebody else. And maybe it's because he's giving it to her because he realized, hey, Mandy left me because I wouldn't give it to her and I wasn't listening to her. I'm not going to make that same mistake twice.
Oh, that must be why. That must be the reason.
But it still doesn't change the fact. You're giving her everything I asked you for. You know, talking about self-worth and loving yourself. It's hard not to, when something like this happens, to go.
And again, when you hear a woman talking about this self-worth, loving yourself, knowing your worth, queen, run, because she's very obsessed with herself. And all she's thinking about is what she can get from you because, again, she has all this self-worth and self-love, and she knows what she deserves. She knows her worth. That's probably not going to be the type of woman that you want to be with just because it comes off, right? A bit self-obsessed. And what can you do for me? And I'm going to initiate the divorce when you can't do those said things for me.
Why is she worth doing all of this for and I'm not? And why? And I know I shouldn't think that, but you can't help but think that. And then on the other hand, you're like, and why can't I find somebody who wants to give me those things and wants to love me and let me love them too in the same? Like, I'm not just saying give that to me, but like mutual, like I want to give.
Just get your passports. Just get your passports. Just stop. Just don't.
You everything that you want, and I want you to help me get the things that I want. It just feels so unfair, and life isn't fair. And you know, it's a hard pill to swallow, but it is what it is.
That first modern woman is telling the story everyone is missing. Having children is expensive as F. They had 4 together, yet she complained about things she wanted to do. She put the family second and disregarded funds that are allocated for the family. So after the divorce, assuming the husband is making the same amount of money prior, the difference is he no longer needs to provide for a family and a half. Her pain is literally self-inflicted. Had she stayed with her husband, they would now have the money to do all sorts of trips. Modern women are incapable of thinking for others and prudent planning. The narcissism has rotten her from the inside out.
While I was married, believe it or not, I thought of myself to be a hopeless romantic the first 5 years of marriage. Get this, one day the ex-wife said, hey, I really like this album. She's raving about it. So one day I surprised her with the CD. And I gift it, and she comes home, she looks at it, and she goes, I didn't want the CD, I wanted the tape. Don't you listen? I'm like, oh. There were many times I cleaned the house, folded everything, put everything away, and only to come home to hear, you cleaned it wrong. You folded the towels wrong. I'm like, oh. Imagine years of that. And then imagine having reservations at a fancy Mexican restaurant for your 5th year anniversary to have mariachis walk out to play your wedding song, Cien Años, for her, and then to kind of dance and celebrate the moment at the restaurant, only to hear in the car, don't you ever embarrass me like that again. Like, what do you mean? You know how I am in front of people, don't you dare do that to me again. I'm like, oh. At that point, I stopped caring because I didn't feel appreciated, so I stopped. The point of all this is, if your husband or wife is making efforts, thank them. If it's not exactly what you wanted, thank them anyway and shut your mouth, because again, they went out of the way to do something small for you, and if they don't feel appreciated, they'll stop. Why bother if you're just gonna hurt them at the end?